Hi, I'm Chloe and welcome back to week 3 of 75 Booked. If you're new here, 75 Booked is a reading challenge created over on TikTok, and it's basically designed to help you read consistently and build that intentional reading habit without kind of making it a productivity challenge, but it is also kind of being productive, I guess, in terms of reading. So I decided to do 75 Booked. I am now on week 3 and I thought I would do my little wrap up with you. So I actually had so many exciting adventures in week 3. I went to London twice, so a lot of my reading was actually in the evenings, which if you'll have watched my last 2 videos, I said that the evening reading I was finding so much harder to get motivation to actually finish. But this week I kind of had no choice because I needed to get the reading in. So I went to London the first time to watch The Devil Wears Prada with my family and I absolutely loved it. It was such a fun day out. Managed to do some shopping as well because it was my mum's birthday this week. And then the second time I went to London was actually for a book event, which was super exciting. I'll insert some photos around the screen now, but it was for Alice Feeney's book launch. It's for my husband's wife and I'm so excited to read this book, especially after the tour. It was so good meeting Alice and it was such a great day with Mia. We did so many bookish things. We went to Foyles, we went to Waterstones, obviously had some lunch, did some reading and bought a ton of books. So I technically broke the book buying ban, but I did tell myself at the start of this challenge that if I was going to break the book buying ban, that day would be the day, because I just needed one day. If I was doing bookish things, you can't count on me not buying books. So we did it, we bought some books. A lot of them, well, some of them were books that I was not going in wanting to buy, but I did buy Wuthering Heights and Hamnet, which were 2 that I really wanted going into the day. And then I also bought a couple of others, which I'm really excited for actually. So annoyingly, I did break the book buying ban. However, I had a great day and that is the one day I'm allowed to break it. I maybe give myself one more day leeway like halfway through, but we're 3 weeks in now, which was so good. And we've done really well up until this point. So I'm very happy. Also, with doing all the reading in my bed late at night, I'm technically also breaking another rule, but this wasn't a hard rule for me anyway from the beginning, purely because I'm going to find it quite difficult some days to do the reading outside of my bed. I am going to try and challenge myself in week 4 to do more reading outside of my bed, just because that's something I have obviously really struggled with this past kind of week, because all of my reading's been done probably between the hours of like 9 and 11 p.m. and I'm not sitting anywhere else during that time. I want to be in my bed and I want to be cozy and I want to get ready for bed. So next week I'm going to challenge myself to do a bit more reading elsewhere and we'll hope that I can get that done. I've really eased into this challenge now and I'm finding the 45-minute sessions are so much easier to get into. I think before I was really worrying about kind of the time that I'd be sat there. I was thinking and getting distracted the whole way through, but now I'm actually really enjoying sitting down and reading for 45 minutes. And I think it's potentially because the books that I'm reading I'm absolutely loving, but also I think it's just become this new normal for me. So I'm really hitting that point now where it is just becoming a daily activity and it's just, I'm using it to relax, and it's been a long time since reading has been a relaxing thing for me. So I'm really happy about that. So getting into this week, I finished only one book and that was The Trees by Percival Everett. Now this was a book club book. I would have never picked this up based on the cover, and I don't know, I might have picked it up if I saw people review it and I read the back maybe, but it's very different from what I would normally read, put it that way. That said, I am really glad that I did read it, but for me there was just way too many characters. I'm not a fan of books that have so many characters. I like to know what's going on, I like to know my characters. That's why I like romances, because typically there's like 2 main characters and then maybe like 3 side characters at best. So that's why I normally like romances. In this book, there were so many different people, so many different names. Half the time I had no idea who we were, where we were, what the hell was going on. I just knew people were being murdered, and I knew it was surrounding the lynchings in America. Interestingly, when we were discussing this at book club, we all said that we thought it was set before now. So we all thought like it was set years and years ago, but it's actually not. Like, Trump is mentioned in this book, and that was just like a bit of a wake-up call, I think. The ending I still think about, but yeah, it wasn't my choice of a book, let's say. But that is why I joined book club, so we're doing exactly what we were intended to do. I also started Saving Six by Chloe Walsh, which you are currently sat on, so I can't show you, but that is the complete opposite of the previous book, obviously, and it's so much more emotional, immersive. I just needed it. After that book, I needed something, and obviously I'd read Binding and Keeping 13, so I kind of knew the story, which sometimes makes those kind of books a little bit easier because I knew where it was heading. I obviously knew the topics and the trigger warnings and everything. It was so nice getting Aoife's perspective. It was so nice getting her perspective of it all, and like when she actually worked it out in her head what was going on in their home. Oh my god. And then the bit where her dad tells Joey how proud of him she is, that made me cry. That made me sob, because I was like, what the hell? Like, I can't. This week, obviously I did a lot of my sessions super late in the evening, and I did find that slowed me down a lot, which didn't help because it then meant that I wasn't reading as quickly, maybe wasn't getting through books as quickly as I normally would. But you know what, that's okay. We absolutely smashed it. We still did the week, and you know, the progress in this challenge doesn't have to be fast reading. As long as I'm reading, it counts. I guess this challenge is really teaching me that obviously showing up is what matters. You don't have to be motivated every day, and I've started to build that habit now of doing something every day, which has really helped me more than I could possibly think. And I'm really hoping that I can carry that forwards with things like going to the gym and working out, because I used to love working out, but now for me it's become a bit of a chore. So I'm really hoping that I can start channeling that into other things in my daily life, as well as like studying as well, because that's something that I struggle to fit in. I think next week I'm really going to focus on getting more sessions done outside of my bed, and we're going to hope that I can do some potentially outside of the house, maybe. Who knows? We'll have to see. If you're doing 75 booked or just trying to read more this year, let me know how it's going for you. And if you're not, feel free to join me at any time. And I will see you next week for week 4.